Day 2 dot plots. Dot plot is a plot of organized data along a number line. Data values are represented by a dot placed in a column directly above where the data is located on a number line. A dot plot goes from smallest to largest values that are included. Information about the spread of data shows where the center of data is located. Here we have a dot plot. The number of students in Mrs. Baker's 6th grade math class shows from 0 to 6 number of siblings. Each of these dots represent a student and how many siblings that they have. So for example, we have 2 students that have 0 siblings. We have 10 students that have 1 sibling. We have 5 students that have 2 siblings, and so on, okay? Now, for the first thing it asks is what statistical question could be answered using this data. So for example, we could ask the statistical question, what is the median? Another question we could ask is what is the mean? We could also ask what is the range? We could also ask, what is the mode? There are also other questions that we could ask, but some of which we're going to be answering right now. So for example, what is the most number of siblings recorded in the class? If we look at this graph, that answer would be 5. It says, what is the least number of siblings recorded in the class? That would be 0. What is the most common number of siblings? In other words, occurred the most often? That number would be 1. It says, how many students recorded the most common number of siblings? That would be 10, under the number 1 sibling. How many students have more than 2 siblings? In other words, more than 2 would be 3, 4, or 5, and that would be 4. The next thing that we are going to look at is the steps to create a dot plot. So here, the steps to create a dot plot, the first thing that we would do is draw a number line long enough to hold your data. The second thing that we would do is to label a line with the range of data from least to greatest, using the same spacing between the numbers. If there are no data for the particular value, the value must be included in the number line if it falls in the range of numbers used to make the scale. So in other words, even though one number might not be used, for example, in the previous one, 4 was not used, but we still had to include it. Number 3, we have to label the number line in words representing the data. And 4, plot the points for each value of data. So in example number 1, what we're going to do is we have the heights of 20 basketball players in inches that are given below, and we are going to make a dot plot of those players' heights. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the smallest number and the largest number so that we know what numbers to go between in that number line. So here we have 68, which is the smallest number, and we have 84, which is the highest number. So I'm going to make that dot plot first, the number line first. So here I'm going to have 68, and I'm going to try and make this as evenly spaced out as I can. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to write this number line out as best I can. Notice it doesn't have to be perfect. Notice I didn't use all of the number line, which is okay. Next, I'm going to label my number line. And now I can do my number line, or do my dot plot. So I have 68, I have 70 and 70, I have 71, 75, 80, 81, 82, 84, 75, 75, 80, 75, 77, 75, 80, 83, 80, 71, and 70. What I would do is I would count the dots to make sure that you've included all of the numbers that you needed. In this case, 20 of them. So I'm going to count them: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I do have all 20. So the next thing that we have to do is we have to answer the questions that go along with it. So the questions that are being asked here is, what is the spread of the data? Which again is our range. And in this case, it's 84 minus 68. Well, when I subtract those two, I get 14. Or sorry, 16. Let me erase that. It says, what is the mode of the data? In other words, what number appears the most? And in this case, the number is 75. It says, how many players are greater than 70 inches tall? So if I count the number of dots that are greater than 70, I get 16. The next thing, and I do apologize, I didn't get a chance to bold it, we are going to look at frequency and frequency tables. So a frequency, and I might as well underline it here, so a frequency is the number of data values that are included in an interval. And a frequency table summarizes a frequency distribution. It includes data values and associated frequencies. So a frequency table has 3 columns. The first column contains all possible values of data between the lowest and the highest data value. The second column contains the tallies, and the third column contains the frequency which is the number of tallies for each data value. So now we're going to look at a frequency table, and we are going to actually be working with one. So example 1 says the winning Super Bowl scores from 1983 to 2002 are listed below in the table. Make a frequency table of the data. So here we're going to do that, and how we do that is by taking these scores and putting them in the middle using tallies. So the first one is 20, and then 30 because it's going in between these scores. So the next one is 34, 23, 34, 31, 35, 27, 49, 30, and once you hit 5, you always make a cross so that they're in sections of 5. So then 27, 49, 30, 52, 37, 20, 55, 20, 42, 39, 46, 38, 38, and 27. So here we have and actually I did this wrong, guys. I apologize. So let me redo this. Because it should be 6, 6, 5, and 3 when we do these. So let me just... All right, let's do this again. We have 20. I'm going to go across. So we've got 20, 20, 34, 23, 34, 31, 35, 27, 49, 30, 52, 37, 20, 55, 20, 42, 39, 46, 38, 38, and 27. There we go. That's a little bit better. So you got 6, 6, 5, and 3. So the next thing it's asking us is what score represents the center of data, in other words, the median. And the way that we do this is we take those winning scores and we have to put them in order from least to greatest and get the middle number. So we've got to write them in order, so that's what I'm going to do. We've got 20, 20, 20, 23, 27, 27, 30, 31, 34, 34, 35, 37, 38, 38, 39, 42, 46. Sorry, that looks like a 9. Let me redo that. 49, 52, and 55. Okay, so we take our middle two numbers, which is 34 and 35, these two right here. We add them together and divide by 2. So it's 69 divided by 2, which is 34.5. And that's our middle number, our median. Then it asks us which score occurs most often in the set of data. And that happens to be 20. Because if I look at this, it appears 3 times here. We've got here, here, and here. And then it says, what is the spread of data? What is the spread range of the data? And for here, we've got 55 minus the 20. So our spread is 35. Okay. So next we have, it says at the end of this, which we are, it says go to Khan Academy and do the 2 assignments I have put in for you. They are labeled reading, dot plots and frequency tables, and creating dot plots. And that's going to end our lesson for today.